All right, so I missed yesterday. Was thinking about an idea, and I came up with an idea about Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers is known as a terrible coach. Well, he's not really a bad coach. It's just who you put around him and the mindsets that you put around him. Like I went back to looking at all his team's records for each season that he coached the team. He coached the Orlando Magic from 1999 to 2000, 2003 to 2004. He's coached the Celtics to 2012, 2013, the Clippers from 2013 to 2020, the Sixers from 2020 to 2023, and now the Bucks now. But the Bucks have started off 1-6, so that's why I'm starting this now so early. And it calls the question: is Doc Rivers an all-time great coach? Like, or is it the teams you put around him? Because Doc Rivers has a top five, I'm pretty sure, record when it comes to coaching. When I don't think he's a top five coach of all time. Even though I don't like the way Steve Kerr coaches, but he seems to get his guys motivated and his guys out to play. You see the roster now, and people thought it was just. I thought it was the super team around Steve Kerr, but he's making this team work now. Doc Rivers has never been able to make the teams that were not superstar or like the roster filled up of great role players and superstars. He never made it work. And the only time he's made it work was the Boston Celtics in 2008. And you can't possibly lose with Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett, and Paul Pierce. Like you can't. You wouldn't. That just doesn't even make sense. But Doc Rivers, when he was on the Magic, that team had the worst record in the league, and he was fired right after that. Which, wait, the Magic? No, those whole 3 seasons when he was with the Magic, they had a bad record until they got T Mac, and T Mac carried them to the 8th seed. But they never really did anything besides when they had T Mac. Doc Rivers can't push his team to achieve new heights like the other coaches and or the all time greats can. So, in the Celtics, it's from 2004 to 2013. They obviously only got it done once, and I feel like their championship window was bigger with Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, Rondo, Ray Jean, and Ray Allen, but they only got it done once, which is a shocker that they only won one championship with that team constructed, even though it was basically a super team at the time. They built the first ever super team, and the coach was Doc Rivers, which was known as a defensive mind. But where does the offense come in? Where do you run schemes for your guys? Where do you can't just scapegoat the players, which he seems to do a lot. But that's why Kevin Garnett likes playing for him, though. He's the only coach that Kevin Garnett really liked. Him, Kevin McHale, and the one where he won his MVP. I forgot that coach's name, but you never really. Celtics should have won more. The Clippers from 2013, from 2020, I feel like that's all him. When he was working with Lob City, they should have reached the conference finals. There's no reason why they never reached the conference finals with Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan in his prime, JJ Redick at the shooting guard, Jamal Crawford coming off the bench, Big Baby off the bench. That team was nicely constructed, and he couldn't get the job done with that team, which is crazy. They never, even though they dealt with injuries, Doc Rivers was the leader, and he should be able to push his team to new heights. That's what coaches do. I don't really understand why he continues to get jobs in the coaching market when he can never really get it done. But then after the Lob City, blah blah blah. Obviously, they made one good run in 2019 when they didn't have role players. I guess you can place that on Doc, but I placed that on the role players. Lou Will stepped up phenomenally this season. Shea proved why he's an upcoming rookie. That was his rookie season. He played great. He was a starter for that team. So I don't really place that on the shoulders of Doc Rivers that much. With the Kawhi Paul George situation, I feel like that's all not all his fault because they got injured a lot, but I feel like Doc Rivers did get scapegoated a little bit, but he deserves as much of the blame as them during those seasons when he was there, especially choking that 3-1 lead. I feel like people often talk about Kawhi and Paul George choking that lead, but Doc's rotations in that series was just retarded. I don't think Montrez was supposed to be playing that much during that series against the Nuggets, but I understand that he was the sixth man of the year, but you gotta know when to pull your guys out or when to keep them in. It's all about opinions, bro. That's why I don't know. With the Sixers, I feel like the Sixers team could have got it done when they was up 3-2 against the Celtics 2 years ago with Baby Maxey, Harden, and Embiid, obviously, but they couldn't get it done, and it seems like everybody on that team didn't like Doc as a coach. Joel Embiid became happier when he left. Maxey doesn't even look him in the eye when they play. There's a meme going around now, but Harden wanted him gone. I remember that 2 years ago. Harden wanted. They said Harden wanted a new coach, and as soon as he demanded a new coach, he was out of there. Harden ended up leaving the next season, so that really didn't matter anyway. But Doc Rivers is one of those coaches, man. It depends on the situation with him. That's why with the Bucks now, he's not really. He's in the perfect situation. He's just not a good coach for them. I feel like him, Darvin Ham, sitting next to each other. Obviously, that's ironic because Darvin Ham was the coach of the Lakers last season, and it was bad. And him being the leading assistant for Doc Rivers doesn't look good, and they're 1-6. But they can always bring it back. But I just don't feel like Doc Rivers in 2024 is meant to be a head coach. Am I bugging or not? Let me know how y'all feel about Doc Rivers as a coach.